They fought on foreign soil. They carried supplies through jungles and deserts. They died in battles that were never theirs to begin with. Over 1 million African soldiers played a vital role in World War II, but their stories are often forgotten or rarely told. When we think of World War II, we picture the beaches of Normandy, the streets of Stalingrad, or the gray skies over London. But Africa? Africa was not just a bystander. It was a battlefield, a supply base, and a human reservoir. From 1940 to 1943, North Africa was a major theater of war. The British, Germans, and Italians clashed across Libya, Egypt, Tunisia, and Algeria in fierce desert battles. This was the famous North Africa Campaign. Over 1 million Africans were recruited by the colonial powers, like Britain, France, Belgium, and Italy. Some volunteered, but many were forced. Many African soldiers served in Europe. Soldiers recruited from Senegal, Mali, Guinea, and Burkina Faso. They served in Europe during the fall of France, 1940. They helped defend France against the German invasion. The liberation of France, 1944. Some helped retake southern France after D-Day during Operation Dragoon. Italian Campaign, 1943 to 45. Fought in battles like Monte Cassino alongside Allied troops. So are the North African soldiers from Morocco, Algeria, and Tunisia. The Moroccan Gaumiers, known for their fierce mountain warfare skills, were instrumental in breaching German lines in Italy, especially in the Battle of Monte Cassino. While most of the East and Southern African soldiers served in the Middle East and Asia, often on the front lines, they dug trenches, carried weapons, built roads, and fought bravely. Sometimes without proper training, food, or recognition. African troops fought in some of World War II's most decisive campaigns, which includes the East Africa Campaign, 1940 to 1941. Allied troops, including Ethiopians, fought to free Ethiopia from Italian occupation. The Burma Campaign, 1944 to 45. Thousands of African soldiers fought in Southeast Asia against Japanese forces. The Battle of El Alamein, 1942. African porters and engineers helped turn the tide against the Axis in North Africa. And in East Africa, Emperor Haile Selassie returned to Ethiopia after years in exile. He called the victory over Italy during the Italo-Ethiopian War the victory of the African spirit over colonial oppression. But it wasn't just manpower. Africa's minerals fueled the Allied war machine. Copper from Zambia, gold from South Africa, rubber from Liberia, and especially uranium from the Congo, used in the Manhattan Project. African ports, railroads, and airstrips became key logistic hubs for Allied operations. Many African soldiers were paid less than their European counterparts, and some were not even paid at all. They lived in worse conditions, carried out the hardest tasks, and died by the thousands. After the war, many were sent home with no recognition, no pensions, and no memorials. Their sacrifices were forgotten. But something changed after this. African soldiers returned home with a new awareness. They had fought for freedom abroad. Why were they denied it at home? Then the independence rallies started in places like Ghana, Nigeria, and Kenya, and then all over Africa. World War II sparked the rise of African nationalism. Many future leaders, like Kwame Nkrumah and Jomo Kenyatta, were inspired by the contradiction of fighting for empires while being colonized. They fought for a world they were excluded from. Let us never forget. Thanks for watching the Animation Chronicle. If you found this video powerful, hit like, subscribe, and share it with someone who needs to hear this. Let's bring these stories out of the shadows.